Last time I was talking about the essence of devotion. How should we practice devotion? How can we increase our love for God? And it was told, according to the philosophy of Jagadguru Swami Shri Kripalu Maharaj, that first of all we should know the philosophy of Rup Dhyan. As I explained last time, Rup means the form of God and Dhyan means meditation. When we meditate upon a divine form of God, then it is called Rup Dhyan. Many people think that how can we visualize the divine form of God because we haven't seen God. Although it's very simple. Whenever we remember anyone in the world as well, then first of all, the face of the person comes in our mind. Then we think about his other qualities and other things. In the same way, we have to visualize the form of God as well. But you may say here that I haven't seen God. We can remember our family members, friends, etc. because we see them so often. But we haven't seen God. Then how can we do Rup Dhyan of God? I told you last time that we can have the help of a picture, of a murti, and then feel like the same God is appearing in front of me in His divine form. But another question arises over here, that the picture or the murti is not the real form of God, because the artist made them according to his imagination. And usually, the artists who make the pictures or those who make the murti, they are not the devotees, they are the artists. You go to them and say that you have to make a murti of Shri Ram, they will make the murti of Shri Ram. You go to them and you say that make a murti of my father, they will make the murti of your father. Next time you go and say, make the murti of my dog, they will make the murti of dog. They are the artists. Whatever you say, they will make it. In this, it proves that they don't have devotion to God. They have devotion to their art only. According to your choice, they will make the murti for you because they have to earn money. They haven't seen God. Then how can they make a real picture of Ram, Krishna, etc.? Because they haven't seen God. So these pictures or the murtis, they are also material. So if we focus on something which is material, then how can we get the divine result? This is a very prominent question which arises in the minds of many people. Let us solve this small question. Altogether, there are four kinds of people who love God or do not love God. Number one, if you have a murti or a picture, or you love God directly, you love God with the feeling that He is God, then you will get the result of God, the divine result. If you love someone or something, you are loving some material being, but you have a feeling that he is God. Number one, if you love God without a feeling that he is God, you have feeling of God or not, but you loving God only. You love God. Like Lord Krishna descended, Shri Ram descended, and many people loved Shri Ram or Krishna, and they got the divine result of Shri Ram and Krishna. Although their feeling was not that he is God, but they loved him wholeheartedly, and they got the divine result of God. But if you are loving some material being with the feeling that he is God, is veritable God, even then you will get the result of God. In both ways. And number 3, if you love someone without any feeling, someone or something, without any feeling of God, then only you will get the material result. I said, if you love God without the feeling of God, if you love God with the feeling of God, you will get the right result. Number 2, if you love God without any feeling of God, thinking that he is an ordinary person, but you got attracted to him and you loved him as God, then you will get the result of God. And number 3, if you are loving a material being with the feeling that he is God, and you worship him with a deep feeling that he is God, you are worshipping him just like God, even then you will attain the result of God. But if you love material being or material thing as a material being or material thing, then you won't get the result of God. So in these 3 ways, first, second and third, we can realize God. If you love God as God, you know that he is God, and you loved God, then definitely you will get the result. Anybody can think about it. But it is possible only at that time when God descends. Otherwise, how can you find God? When God descends, only then you can love God without knowing that he is God or knowing that he is God. So first and second, both conditions occur only when he is on the earth right now. Like at the time of Shri Ram, at the time of Shri Krishna, there were lots of maidens of Ayodhya, lots of maidens of Braj. They got attracted on the unlimited beauty and they loved. There were lots of the friends of Janaki Ji, there were lots of the servants of the Janaki Ji, maid servants, they all got attracted to Lord Ram. And Ram gave a boon to them. Yes, you can find me in any other life as your beloved, but in this life it is not possible because I am Maryada Purushottam. At the time of Lord Krishna as well, there were many who were attracted on the fascinating beauty of Sri Krishna, and they also desired to have him as their beloved, and they got him. Because there is the right personality and the right feeling. Right personality is there. But if you love a material being, see, if you didn't know that he is God, but he is God, then you are getting the result of God for sure. Because your bhavana is good and the personality is good as well. Personality is divine, he is really God, and your feelings, your bhavana is also that he is God. So you will get the result of God. Now the third number, that if you love a material being and feel like he is God, or you love him as God, even then you will get the result of God. Why? Because the personality is wrong. So if you are loving God, if you love Him as God, because personality is wrong, then how can we get the result of divine God? Yes, we will get the result of God only. Only when you are loving a material being or a material thing, without the feeling of God, you cannot get the result of God. Let us explain it. If you love God, if you love some material being with the feeling of God, then how would you love, how will you attain the fruit of divine love, of divine God? Here we have to understand one thing, that if you love someone in this world without the feeling that he is God, and you are remembering him, you are crying, you are shedding tears continuously for someone who is sitting in England, then you won't get the result of that person, that personality, any result. You won't get. Why? Because you are shedding tears for someone, you are crying for someone, but he is not omniscient, he is not omnipresent, he does not even know that somebody is crying for me, somebody is remembering me so much. That's why he doesn't know anything. If you call your son who is sitting in England, "Oh my son, I will die without seeing you, please come immediately," he can't come. Because he doesn't know that you are so desperate to see him. And even according to today's technology, he comes to know that you are crying for him. You are desperate to see him. Even then he cannot immediately come because he is not omnipresent. He is not omniscient, he knows nothing. He cannot come anytime. But when you remember God, you are having the feeling of God in that person who is material being, then although his personality is material, that he is not a divine personality, but because you have the feeling of God, and feeling comes from the heart. God is sitting in your heart all the time. Ya Atmani Tishtati. Prashnopishan. He is sitting in your heart. He knows very well that you are not loving a person. Through this person, you are loving God only. So according to your feeling, the depth of your feeling, you will get the grace of God. But if you don't have the feeling of God in that person, then you cannot get anything. He is omniscient, he is omnipresent. So wherever you remember him, whenever you call him out, he may come immediately because he is omnipresent, omniscient, almighty. He can do anything. That's why when people ask that what is the point of worshipping an idol? Why should we worship a murti? Why should we worship a picture of God? Because if you have the feeling of God in that murti, then as you know that God is omnipresent, all-pervading. So in each and every particle of the murti, in each and every particle of the picture, God is there. He is saturated there. And He is listening to your call as well. He knows your ideas as well.